Welcome to Mera Desi Swag. A big hi to all those who are watching the video, and my respect to my subscribers especially. So in the series that I start today, I'm going to discuss CSAT passages that you saw in UPSC CSAT preliminary paper on 20th of May 2023 or later. If you're preparing for this exam, it becomes important to prepare the aptitude for passages, how to manage CSAT passages. First question that I'm going to discuss is based on assumption. And the second question that I'm going to be discussing in this video is based on finding the central idea or crux of the passage. And the theme of the passage is based on waste management, waste disposal, segregation of waste. You may have often come across different color dustbins in public places, red, yellow, green. एक में आपको मेटल डालना है, एक में आपको प्लास्टिक डालना है, ड्राई वेस्ट डालना है, आपको वेट वेस्ट डालना है. वो क्यों होता है? Why are there separate dustbins? Now, if you're preparing for this IAS examination, you're also preparing for general studies. So generally, you're already aware कि ऐसा क्यों होता है, why there are different dustbins. So आसानी हो जाती है at the time of waste collection कि वो waste biodegradable है या non-biodegradable है. अगर वो biodegradable है तो उसके अनुसार उसका management होता है. So today I'm going to be taking up set B. जिन लोगों के पास दूसरे sets हैं वो दूसरे sets use कर सकते हैं और उस passage को निकालकर उस passage को मेरे साथ analyze कर सकते हैं. So if you have a different set, all you need to do is find that passage. I'm going to show you how this passage looks like. The passage is right in front of you. I hope you can see it. In India, the segregation of municipal waste at source is rare. क्यों? Because awareness नहीं है इतनी. Segregation of municipal waste at source is rare. यानी हम companies के आगे या अपने घरों के आगे, when we throw things into dustbins, we don't really keep multiple dustbins. So traditionally, our orientation has been that way. Recycling is mostly with the informal sector. Informal sector, ये जो आपके बाहर का कूड़ा इकट्ठा करने आते हैं, collect करने आते हैं, ये हमेशा municipal staff तो होते नहीं है. So जब आप passage पढ़ रहे होते हैं, it becomes very important for you to right from the beginning understand when the passage says or uses the word rare, it is an indicator that it doesn't happen all the time. Plus, it is false that it never happens. So before you kind of make an opinion, you have to focus on some words which may be crucial indicator of, if at all, a question is asked later. Now, I leave it up to you. If you want me to do it real quickly, I can do it real quickly. Or if you want me to give you a detailed analysis, let me know. How can you inform me about what kind of thing you want? By writing an email to me. I'll be dropping my email address in the description box. Usually it is 1984pronunciation@gmail.com, or you can use the comment box to write to me and express your desire. So I'm going to take you back at the passage now. And like I said already, that if you want me to do something extra, let me know. I'll be the happiest if informed. Recycling is mostly with the informal sector. Here again, the word is mostly, an adverb, an ly word. Rare, mostly, never, ever. All these words are very important indicators. So when you become really an expert in reading passages, this process becomes automatic. But before this becomes automatic, this process is a slow process, a gradual development. And how does that happen? By listening to someone who's done it, maybe a friend, maybe a tutor, maybe a facilitator, or maybe watching a video. Let me know if you need me to give you a detailed orientation on this one. Most of you have attended my classes. Those of you who are my subscribers, especially those people, are already attending my lessons at Old Rajendra Nagar. If you need me to make a video for quick help, I am here. Okay, now let's look at this passage. The first question from this passage says, assumptions have been made. My question to you is, before we go anywhere else, what is assumption? पूर्व धारणा. What is पूर्व धारणा और पूर्व अनुमान, जिसे हम कभी inference भी पढ़ते हैं, और जो हिंदी के हैं वो मुझे बताएंगे मैंने पूर्व धारणा और पूर्व अनुमान में कोई गलती की है बताने में. So assumption and inference both are different words for these passages, especially for UPSC civil service passages especially. हर एक टेस्ट का अपना एक रिक्वायरमेंट होता है, अपनी एक वोकैबुलरी होती है. सिविल सर्विसेज प्रिपरेशन, प्रीलिम्स, CSAT, assumption आपको सोचकर चलना है. जो ऑथर ने आर्टिकल लिखने से पहले, पैसेज लिखने से पहले, before the author penned down that article or passage, what the author felt like conveying to the audience, or what the author assumed that my audience doesn't know, my readers don't know. So I need to be writing something so that they become more aware of it. Simplify it. Assumption can also be seen as the reason of that passage being written, the reason of that message being conveyed. And if the reason is indirect, it becomes assumption in the vocabulary of civil services CSAT preparation. And if the message is indirect, it becomes inference. And they're very close often. So assumption is what went inside the head of the author before that message was written. Now look at this. If you've read the passage, please pause the video once again and review it. If you haven't read the passage, pause the video and read it leisurely. Or if you've already read the passage, then let me make it a little faster for you. The segregation of municipal waste, rare, recycling mostly with the informal sector, more than 3/4 of the municipal budget goes into collection. Kiska budget? Municipal budget, which leaves very little for recovery and disposal. Where does waste to energy fit into all this? Ideally, an important indicator, it is not always, it's in ideal situation, it fits in the chain after separation. Which technology is most appropriate in converting waste to energy? Do we have the answer? It depends on what's in the waste. Waste may have two parts, biodegradable, non-biodegradable. Technology depends on that. And its calorific value. The biodegradable component of India's municipal and solid waste is a little over 50%, a good amount. And biomethanation offers a major solution for processing this. Offers the best solution or a major solution, important indicator. Now the first question says, the following assumptions have been made. Which of these is or are correct? Collection, processing, and segregation of municipal waste should be with the government agencies. Are we reading a debate over private or government? Well, we have a little hint of informal sector, but and we have another clue, which is municipal corporation, municipal waste. However, this passage doesn't repeatedly or focus on, doesn't repeatedly talk about or focus on private versus public. So we rule out this choice. And the second one is, again, something similar, can be best handled by private sector enterprises. We don't have this debate right in this passage, especially within these lines. So what do you think should be the answer? Can we choose one only? No, we can't choose that. Can we choose two only? We cannot choose that. Can we choose both 1 and 2? No. So what are we going to choose? Neither 1 nor 2. Now the thing to remember is, sometimes what people do is they're in a hurry. They look at 1, 2, and they end up choosing both 1 and 2 when they were planning to choose neither 1 nor 2. So please do pay attention to that. And like I said, this passage wasn't about public versus private. Agar hota, to aur bhi baatein hoti. Now let's look at the second question. Which one of the following statements best reflects the crux of the passage? Generation of energy from municipal solid waste is inexpensive. We are talking about how much money. More than 3/4 of budget goes into collection and transportation, which leaves very little for, well, this is about budget, this is about allocation, municipal budget allocation within waste management. So we're not technically looking at it as inexpensive. And if you read news, if you watch news, you know that nothing is inexpensive here, with a huge population in India and a huge amount of waste coming out of factories and, in fact, our houses too. Biomethanation is the most ideal way of generating energy from municipal solid waste. A good option. Why? Because it's given in the last line. It is given in the last line, and last line and first line are often important. Location of possible answers. Now look at the last line. What does it say? Biomethanation offers a major solution. Does it match with the most ideal way of generating energy? It's a good way. It's a very good way. But do we also have a little more context here? We have the context which says, which technology is most appropriate in converting waste energy depends on the nature of waste. What is the waste? Biodegradable, non-biodegradable, degradable. Perhaps for biodegradable waste, it could be a major solution, but we do not know from the passage. Is it the most ideal way for every kind of waste, both biodegradable and non-biodegradable? Hence, we're a little skeptical before we choose this option. We read the other options. Segregation, C, segregation of municipal solid waste is the first step in ensuring the success of waste to energy plants. Okay, not that bad. Segregation of municipal solid waste is the first step in ensuring the success of waste to energy plants. Municipal waste is rare. Recycling is mostly this. Waste to energy risk collection is the most appropriate way. So from the first line, we have the clue that it is important. And that is why the author starts from here. At source is rare. Now, whether it is as important as to be giving us the success rate of waste to energy plants depends on your general knowledge, people. Are you reading enough? Okay, before I check that, let's look at D. It can be chosen, or if it can be left up there. The biodegradable component of India's municipal solid waste is not adequate to provide energy from waste effectively. Do we know that part? A little over 50%. So we're not that happy with option D. We're not that happy with option A. We are a little confused between B and C. Should we choose B? Should we choose C? Now, when you I happen to have classes with me. In those classes, I also discuss, in those sessions, I also discuss how the most ideal way, the best way, the worst way is also an indicator of caution. If the passage doesn't say it in the exact same manner, we sort of don't choose that answer. And I'd like to share with you a brief context, if I may, here. Okay, well, this is the energy waste. The waste sorting is the process that we were talking about. Okay, so this is the claims. And allow me to also share an article with you all from which this excerpt has been taken. So the article will appear on your screen now. And you would notice, cities at crossroads, recycling begins at home. So the context is here in front of you. This passage comes from an article in the Indian Express, November 30, 2016. Segregating municipal solid waste is the first step in ensuring the success of waste to energy plants. And do we have, okay, if you read it, I have it on my phone. I've subscribed to it. So it came up from here, and you can get a little more context, or if you want, I will send you an email if you write to me more about this passage. And, the subtitle carried your answer. You see right there, I will kind of keep the discussion brief here, and I'll be sharing more passages with you, only if I feel that you want me to. So today we discussed just one passage from Stat 1, which was about segregation of municipal waste management. Question number 1 was based on assumption. Remember what I told you about assumption? I can tell you in more detailed ways if you want me to, write to me. Second question was based on Crux, and for Crux, I would like to add one more thing to this talk, which is look at the maximum words indicating one group, one important key idea. So oftentimes the theme that gets repeated a lot gives you a clear clue of where the theme lies. First line and last lines are also very important indicators. And when we have first lines and last lines, we also need to keep in mind if there are any words that may indicate extreme statements, pessimistic, for example, modifiers like the best, the worst, the most ideal way. If we see these options, if we see these phrases, words as an option, it becomes important for us to go back to the passage and scan, look for those words. If they completely match with what's the option saying, only then we can choose that option as our answer. In this case, we did not choose biomethanation as the most ideal way because the municipal waste contains both biodegradable and non-biodegradable. If you want to challenge any answer that I gave to you today, you can write to me. I am open to that, and I love an audience that is the most participative. When viewers engage, it kind of makes more sense to dress up at this hour, any hour of the day. I kind of make more videos. I hope this video helps, and I hope you'll write to me if you need me to make more videos. And until then, take care.